Hello everyone, welcome back to FighterZ! I'm Drunken Dan.
I'm still here doing this.
We'll be here for eternity. Hope you enjoy.
Oh no.
Last time we joined up with Goku and Krillin, which, speaking of which, I can take Nappa out of the team, so let me just do that right now.
What? Swap me out for Kakarot?
I didn't tell you I was gonna do that, but I did.
Poor Nappa.
Krillin's level 2 because I never used him.
Oh, why would you use him?
He's literally one of the worst characters in this game. Like, if we're gonna go by tiers, actually Nappa's the lowest, if I recall. If we're gonna go by tiers. I mean, tiers are kind of shaky anyway, and you shouldn't treat them like religion, but they're pretty bad. I think Cell, at least last I checked, was like top tier.
I'm not surprised, considering he's got amazing reach, insane speed, really easily combo-able moves.
And not only that, but he has perfect in the name.
Yeah, sure.
Jokes. And for the audience, I'm still, like, early in Buu Saga, so I don't really have much to talk about, in case you're waiting for me to start rambling about Buu Saga shit. I'm almost done Saiyaman stuff.
Yeah, there's only, what, like, 12 episodes?
Yeah, like I just got to the episode where Videl blackmails Gohan, and so, like, I only got a couple episodes before that, and then I get to watch...
I didn't know Commander Black was in that saga.
You trained a lot in hell,
What?
right?
Blackmail?
I mean, I guess you had a lot of time.
Commander Black?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
No.
I have no idea what hell's
So...
like. It's a pretty rough place.
It's moving swiftly along.
I don't have anything other to say, like, other than, like...
I bet it's an
It made me make more jokes on Twitter about how Super is fucking stupid when it had Videl have that line where she's like, "Oh, I never really liked fighting anyway."
It's almost like the people who watch Super didn't, or people who made Super, Toriyama included, never actually watched Dragon Ball.
Let's be real. This is something that I've probably said in one of these videos before, but we blame Toei too much for things that are wrong in Super. Because a lot of times when you go to interviews, you end up learning it's the opposite. That Toriyama's executive decisions are what made some of the dumber choices, like Goku being stupider. Like, that was a Toriyama idea, because Toriyama wanted Goku to go back to basics. He felt he became too much of a hero. I'm doing a little quotations with my fingers, by the way.
So what you're saying is Toriyama is the Japanese George Lucas.
Yes!
So it just needs to sell Dragon Ball to the white slavers.
Oh, God.
His words, not mine.
Like what?
You're right, but oh, God.
Verbatim quote. I mean, to be fair, if you ever see Mark Hamill's face after watching The Last Jedi...
Oh, God, I have never seen a man with so much contempt in my life for a fictional piece of media. Like, we get annoyed at, like, cartoons and dumb shit, but, God, his face! He looked like a man who could, like, if you're watching a show, the face he had, like, you would expect his hands to rise up and start choking the guy.
Yeah. It was a face.
It was so ridiculous.
It was a face that certainly would have let him go Super Saiyan.
Oh, by the way, I'm loving that fucking meme of switching the sound clips from like Dragon Ball sound clips to like fucking Ed, Edd and Eddy. I really love that meme.
Yeah, of course you do.
Someone did it, reversed it though. Someone did it where they put the Ed, Edd, Eddy scene where Ralph's beating up Ed with the fish and put it with Dragon Ball voice lines. It was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it does sound like a meme. But
What do you mean memes are serious?
yeah, thanks, Kojima.
But yeah, going on to the Toriyama thing, like, everything that was the best parts of Super were not Toriyama's ideas. Like, this is, like, a literal fact. All of the like, in fact, actually, if you want an idea of what happened, of, Toriyama with, you know, people that can, like, talk him down, or, put mandates on him, if you want a good, like, comparison between the two, like him having total control and him being told, hey, that's stupid, don't do that. Let's use my favorite villain and the least favorite villain. Cell and Jiren, they're the perfect microcosm.
I mean,
Cell is what you get Go ahead,
That's
sorry.
just
What were you
a
gonna say?
microcosm that spans about 20 years between the two, but sure.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
So Cell was created because the editors kept like going like, these ideas are stupid.
I mean,
Like, this is dumb. A clown and a fat man, a clown and an old man. Are you fucking serious right now?
that's your villains who killed all the Z fighters in the future.
This is who killed everybody. Are you fucking serious? And then it switches over to 17 and 18, and then you're just like, okay, two punks. This is your villain. And then he creates the first form of Cell, who he actually didn't plan on having transform, and he's like, a disgusting bug. And then he's like, all right, I'll have them absorb and transform. He gets to the second form, and the second form is fucking atrocious.
And it's like, what the fuck is this? It looks like It looks like a fucking dude in blackface.
It does! It's like the fucking turtles from Michael Bay. I am never going to stop mentioning the fact that the Michael Bay turtles look like blackface, and it's fucking horrible.
Frieza,
Well,
But
are you not gonna turn
anyway.
yeah.
So, and then he created Perfect Cell. So Cell, like, Cell's popularity and how cool he ended up being is because the editors kept yelling at him for stupid ideas and stupid designs. Jiren is what you get when Toriyama puts his foot down and has the, like, final say. Because here's a fun fact about Jiren. So you know Toppo's personality, how fun he is, and how everyone likes Toppo more than Jiren, other than, like, a handful of idiots.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Here's a fun fact. That personality that the anime staff gave to Toppo was what they tried to give to Jiren, and then Toriyama put his foot down and said, no, Jiren's not supposed to be talkative. Or have a personality.
His personality is whenever someone has friends, that makes him murderously angry.
Oh no, it's okay that he tried to murder people. It's okay, it's
He
fine.
tried to murder his own people as well.
Yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Nothing wrong, it's fine. Jiren's fine.
It's not fine. It's not fine.
Toppo I actually, like, legitimately like. And just think, that could have been Jiren if the anime staff had their way.
Why can
Think of how much more fun it would have been.
yeah.
We would have actually sort of liked Jiren.
Well, unfortunately for you, that's not the timeline we live in, and
Yeah.
there's no magical hair color changing people gonna come back and change this timeline. Wait, so you're me from the future? Yeah. Why do I have different hair? Oh no.
Toriyama wanted to go back to the manga color for me specifically only.
Why don't I have that hair? Oh no.
Oh wait, no. The manga color is technically Trunks from the past, but because of the Bulma... God, how do I explain this?
Because
Okay,
originally, Bulma had purple hair in the manga, right?
yes.
But then she had, when they came to the anime, because they didn't actually have color things, they went with blue, which was her hair for the rest, of the anime. And then when Trunks came back, they gave him purple hair because that's what he should have had in the manga because he got inherited from his mother.
And then the show made Future Trunks have the anime Bulma's hair color, even though he already had the purple hair.
Yeah. It's not,
And they don't even bother to try and explain it. Like, hell, you could even been like, oh, I got a hair dye, or something stupid like that.
it's not even like there's two adult Trunks. It's not even like if, say, Future Trunks went to see GT Trunks and they had two Trunks who are more or less exactly the same in the same timeline. But no, because no one's ever going to think, man, Kid Trunks could pass for Future Trunks.
It's so dumb. It's such a weird oversight to where I'm convinced it was Toriyama's idea.
If you ever want to look at one of the most fascinating examples of a creator who needs to be reined in, you should always look at Dan Aykroyd's original propositions for Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2.
Oh God, tell me, please. I don't know this.
Well, I can't remember all of the details, but like, I know he had something like a 200-page treatment, which was just kind of explaining the whole basic premise to it. There was talk about like I know the second one originally was going to have Manhattan Go to Hell, which was the plot of the video game, and I think it was literally called the Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2 Manhattan is Hell or something. And it's just this kind of... Basically, from my understanding, the movie he wanted to make would have cost like millions and millions and millions of dollars back before we can waste $2 million to remove a mustache. Oh, and $2 million to have Mark Hamill wank off a space car.
And he looks so miserable doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you, I'd look pretty miserable if I had to wank off a space cow.
I would too.
$2 million. But yeah, so the movie was just...
I like how like both of the like he just has that look like he's so like dead inside, and then fucking like Daisy has the look of like a normal human being like am I getting paid for this? What the fuck is this? I am not looking forward to when we sit down and watch that. I know you've already seen it, but...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to sit down and watching it again. I'm still traumatized by it.
Oh, Lord all fucking mighty.
It's like... it's just sad. Makes me sad.
Oh no, Bulma's surrounded by the clones.
Oh, what are they gonna do? Kill her? We got Dragon Balls.
Oh yeah, actually in this game they don't really like do anything to like just say the Dragon Balls are gone right now.
I mean, Dendo's probably still around.
They like that's something that they actually did a lot in Z. Is they would usually come up with something to say, "Oh, the Dragon Balls aren't here right now."
The balls are inert.
I mean, they come back, but still, they would at least like take them out of the equation for a little bit.
Let's see. Saiyan Saga, they kill Piccolo, which destroys the Dragon Balls, or kills them, makes them stone. And then for Namek, they're not on Earth, so and also Piccolo is still dead.
And they get him for a little bit, but then Guru dies for like a minute.
Then beginning of Android Saga, Piccolo and Kami fuse. So there's like a week's period where they don't have Dragon Balls.
Or more precisely, her skill.
I think, because that's when then they go and get Dende in the like week.
Oh no, they lose. Oh yeah, when Kami and Piccolo fuse, they lose it. They get them back.
Isn't it between the like Goku and Gohan finishing their training and then coming out and then the Cell game? So it's like it's in the week period between them finishing the training and then going to the Cell game arena. I think that's.
I think the Dragon Balls are around during the Cell game's actual fight.
Yeah, they're there for the Cell games, but it won't matter because Cell just blow up the world.
Yeah, at that point it'd be like if Cell wins, he's just gonna put his finger down and destroy the planet.
And then Majin Buu. Actually, the Dragon Balls were around the entire saga. It's just
they were gone for a little bit, and then they came back, and that's how they brought Goku back. They literally brought Dende. Literally Toriyama. I'm going off of memory here because I'm not that far in Buu yet, but like. They pretty much, if we want to look at it as a, like mechanically, the reason why they brought Dende back was just so they could bring Goku back so Goku could be the protagonist again.
No, I think what happened... No, I don't think Goku's ever revived by Dragon Ball Z, because he gets...
No, he is, because he's alive during the Kid Buu fight.
Yeah, wasn't that because old Kai gave his life for him? I'm pretty sure he did. He, like, says, well, whatever, you can have my life, it'll probably suit you. I think that's what happened.
Well, then they would have had to have resurrected him because he doesn't have the halo later.
I mean, they could have done. I mean, they do that in the Infinite Super probably. Like everyone except King Kai. I think that's how.
That's
it
true.
went. But I'd have to. I mean, you're rewatching, and I can't really.
Yeah, when I get there, I can talk about it more once I get there. That's a lot of episodes too, because Buu Saga is actually pretty fucking long.
It's just because my thinking is that they have the one point after Vegeta goes and Hero. They use the Dragon Balls to resurrect all the good people, all the people who were killed, but only the good people, so that's why Vegeta doesn't get resurrected. Because he was
oh no, he gets resurrected. No, he does get resurrected after they do that wish, because they have like a line where he goes, "I guess you're good, Vegeta." So I remember that line.
Well, he didn't. I thought Fortune Teller Barber brings him back because, well, there's literally no one else at this point to help fight Buu.
Nah. Because I remember that line as a kid. Where it's like, Vegeta was good all along.
I mean, after he killed a whole bunch of people.
fact, that's the first time in the series, like excluding filler, we see him kill a bunch of innocent people. Oh wait, no, the
Yeah,
Namekians.
he does kill some Namekians, but do they really count?
Yes.
Do they really count? What have the Nameks ever done for us?
Dragon Balls.
Yeah, look all the trouble that's caused.
I mean, if we want to go to GT, it caused a fuckload of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just off of what they even counted GT, so let's see. The reason for the Pilaf, which admittedly not really a problem. The entire reason for the Red Ribbon Army. Reason for King Piccolo. And by extension, Piccolo Jr.
It's the reason for Vegeta and Nappa coming to Earth.
Yeah, the Saiyans. And also then the whole Frieza saga was because of the Dragon Balls.
Actually, what's really funny about it, too, is the reason they learn about the Dragon Balls is because after after Goku dies, and Raditz is like, oh, at least I killed Kakarot, Piccolo then starts mocking him, going, ha, on this planet we have Dragon Balls, he'll be back in like a few days.
Well, you say, you would be correct, except we have these 7 magical orbs, you gather them together, you have any wish gratitude by a mighty dragon. He just explains the whole thing right there. Like Kokiatsu,
and then
it's a plot point that only works if you use a very specific wording.
And just think, it all would have been avoided if Piccolo kept his mouth shut.
Hey, calm down and relax.
Well,
We have our own problems to figure out too,
well, I mean, probably
And then Vegeta would never come to...
we could go back further. It would have been avoided if he'd have kept his mouth shut about being, oh yeah, I know how to make these things called Dragon Balls.
True.
I learned it from my alien planet I've never been to and will completely forget about.
Okay, I get it now.
Because Toriyama didn't consider us being aliens at first.
Good old nameless Namek, or Piccolo as that's to be called.
Which is really funny because the dub actually adds lines like in the ball and stuff that kind of hint at them being aliens because they weren't there in the original source.
Yeah, because obviously at that point they'd already done Dragon Ball Z, so...
Which always makes it funny to me when people get like really purist about how Funimation translates it. I'm like, no, they actually make it more coherent. That's the funny thing.
What are you waiting for? Hurry it up.
But yeah, I actually wonder when we'll start hearing news about the next batch of DLC characters. I mean, I know Broly and Bardock are...
they one of them did get announced. Few Zamasu.
Oh, well. Probably means that the rest of that league was true then.
What was
Probably. The one thing that we noted that we found out is a possibility from the Famitsu or whatever the fucking magazine's called. Famitsu. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Jump usually.
So basically what we learned from that is that he's going to have 8-directional flight. Basically like Magneto from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, that's good, because Magneto's not going to be in a Marvel vs. Capcom for a very long time.
I don't think there's going to be a Marvel vs. Capcom for a very long time.
True. I mean, like, just remember, because who even knows what a Magneto is?
I mean, what's an X-Men?
Yeah, it's like, I get it, guys. We're told not to do it because, you know, Marvel doesn't want to promote Fox. I get that. Like, I 100% get that. But just admit that. Don't just try and shortchange us and tell us that, oh, no one's going to know who Mag-fucking-Neto is.
Yeah, no one knows Magneto. What's a Wolverine? I've never heard of the Wolverine.
Like, just, at that point, you might as well have just said, oh, well, we did program them, but, Larry over there lost the data.
You know what's funny? If they just were honest and were like, we don't want them in, we just can't have the X-Men in. Like, let's say Marvel just is honest. I think people would be annoyed, but because everyone knows the real reason, people are more annoyed because they're lying.
Yeah, it's not
and everyone knows it.
Not even a good lie. It's just, you know, no one knows who the X-Men are or Magneto. Remember
the other,
the
like
90s when there was like 5 fucking X-Men titles running simultaneously?
Or like how much of a presence the X-Men characters had in even just in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, when literally they would slap Wolverine on anything without him having any relevance because he would sell issues.
You mean like they do with Iron Man now?
Yeah, except at least with Iron Man they do have him appear, as opposed to Wolverine where he's literally on covers and then they'll put,
and he's not there.
Put a disclaimer saying Wolverine does not actually appear in this issue.
Isn't there like what's it in like some anime? Isn't there like a character? That one chick from Railgun, don't they do that with her too, where they'll put her on the cover or something because she's not in it?
Something like that.
Which is really funny. But, who is it? But like, so like to be fair with Marvel vs. Capcom, like we give Combo Fiend a lot more shit than he deserves, but there is crap that you know is his fault as well, like the fact that Spencer's even in the fucking game. Because so like people were like, oh, I'm sure like Capcom or Marvel told him to say that line of seeing characters as functions. They're like, no, I honestly feel like that's actually how Combo Fiend feels, because no one actually likes Spencer as a character. Combo Fiend liked Spencer because he was really good in MVC3.
In any case,
People only played him because he was really good in the game. Like, nobody liked that Bionic Commando game. Nobody liked that Spencer.
so when the time finally comes,
Like, I think there's like a handful of people that liked it, but that's because they have bad taste. And they probably also like Jiren. Or they also like people's parents being, not parents, their wife being their gun. Or their arm. Oh, also, my internet just died, so I lost Train Man for like a minute here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought the internet
No,
died.
I was just listening intently. And also I was researching, because I was looking to see if it was V-Jump or Famitsu that had Fuzumatsu removed.
Oh, for Zamasu, yeah.
Although,
So I gotta guess...
quickly just have to go out the room, but I will be right back, I promise, so entertain the audience.
Using the machine.
Alright, what can I ramble about? I guess I could talk more Marvel vs. Capcom versus this game. So, I'm gonna be honest with about one thing that I think about Marvel vs. Capcom in terms of its failure. If this game that I'm playing right here did not come out, I am willing to bet Marvel vs. Capcom would have did fine, because there wasn't really a fighting game like it on the market. So they could have gotten away with that game being as lazy as it was, because mechanically it's fine, but,
I'm back.
like, welcome back. I just started talking about why, I'll roll it back a little bit for you, about why I think Marvel vs. Capcom actually failed. It's not even because it's lazy. I think it's actually because of the game.
Yeah.
Because Marvel vs. Capcom is obviously lazy, but before this game came onto the market, there wasn't a game quite like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they could have gotten away with how lazy the game looked, because mechanically it was solid, but it didn't have polish or art direction or really any kind of heart to it. It was, you know, it was made to get a quick buck. And this game, so like this game came out got announced around the same time as it, and it's basically controls like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like mixed with like 2. And it's just a way prettier looking game, because like the characters here, they look better in this game than they do in the fucking show, let's be honest for a second here.
Well, I might make a point.
Oh, and
The reaction to both games reveals, right?
we need
Yeah.
to use the neutralizer
So,
machine every so
with
often
Marvel vs.
for us, so
Capcom,
that
the problem you
doesn't
always
happen.
face is because it's an established franchise, it's what characters are in, what characters aren't in. And we had like so long between its announcement and any actual reveals. And like, the problem is, it's like none of the reveals were actually interesting.
so then,
Like, you lost it.
With this game, though, we kind of knew who was going to be in it, because we knew the staples were going to be in. We knew Goku, Gohan, Cell.
Yeah,
We knew pretty much everybody from Z, all the main hits from Z were going to be in.
I honestly think the only surprise character is Nappa.
perfect beat.
No, don't find him a surprise.
I expect, I mean, only because I expect Raditz before Nappa.
No, I didn't think so, because Nappa's more popular.
He is?
Together with us?
Nowadays he is, yeah.
Huh. But my point
He's
is,
been more popular for a while now. When people... Raditz is kind of like that... the most people, when they talk about Raditz, they talk about how much of, like, a joke it is that he's Goku's brother, and how it never comes up again.
well, my point is that with Dragon Ball, there's like,
You aren't linked anymore.
you'd be hard pressed to like put out the general cast of characters that you expect to get, and most people would be satisfied because, well, most people like the people who fight. Throw an Android 18 in there, and you're basically golden. Whereas with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, well, the problem was always you step in, and then the rumors start flying about how there's no X-Men or any property or Fantastic Four aren't getting any kind of showing. And, you know, MVC 3 solved that problem by giving you Super Scroll.
Team up with us for now.
Yeah. And, well, they already had, like, a number of X-Men characters in it. It was definitely reduced, but they had a number of them in there. But,
Well, the point is
Yeah,
more so
it's-
you have... So people already got their backs up against the wall, plus there was the whole deal if we didn't know Spider-Man was going to be in.
Yeah, there was like a big mystery on that, and they waited till like the very end. Like I remember for a while there were rumors that he was going to be DLC.
And it kind of all feeds in, like, and then the other damning thing for MVCI though was its initial its E3 showing. You remember?
Because they showed like the story. Oh yeah, they showed the story thing. They didn't really show much like player versus player gameplay, and the game, like I was talking about earlier, the art direction of that game is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
It's like it had none, and it is because they were trying to like just like scramble things together real quick. In fact, actually, if we're gonna talk about like in terms of like their animation and their art, one of the funnier things for me is I love making fun of the thing with Captain Marvel. So in the comics, as you know, she has like that short spiky hair, and they gave her the long one closer to like the old like Miss Marvel one, which that's fine. But here's where I make fun of it. So they went through the trouble of deciding to give her the longer hair, but they didn't animate it. But here's where things get funnier. People have ripped the model out of the game, and the hair is rigged. They just didn't animate it. Like, it has bones. Like, it could be animated. It has all of the trimmings to be, like, you know, a moving object instead of just looking like I think I described it as, like, melted cheese on her head.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't move. It's, like, stiff. That or she's just wearing way too much hairspray. And, they just didn't do it. They just didn't animate it. They didn't want to, for whatever reason. Well, I mean, the reason was lazy and to get their game out as fast as possible, because they were doing the same thing Street Fighter 3 did, where their whole goal was to get it out for esports / the tournament scene, because that was their focus.
Whoever's inside of me, pay attention.
And if you're expecting Marvel to put in actual effort to try and make Captain Marvel into an endearing, likable character, then you're barking up the wrong tree, my friend. They've had years to do this, and they still haven't succeeded.
It's like goes back and forth where they'll get like one writer's like, I've got it. Then another one's like, I'm gonna make her a fascist.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a large problem with Captain Marvel is that because
actually that's a problem with Marvel in general. Like, I'm gonna make a character likable. I'm gonna make them a fascist. I'm looking at you, Captain America and fucking Magneto.
Fucking Magneto.
What is it with them and making people a fascist? Seriously, I'm really questioning a lot of things.
The biggest villain is a literal Nazi, right?
I get that. But he's a villain.
Even Justice League stepped away from fighting literal Nazis. Except when they go back in time, I mean. Which is quite frequent, admittedly.
I mean, yeah, you can fight Nazis, but there's a whole difference between let's make like two of our heroes and a fucking Holocaust survivor a Nazi. You can make fascists as villains very easily. They're very easy to make villains because they're fucking evil. But, like, when you start, like, having your protagonist become that, or a character who is literally the opposite of a fascist become that,
well, I mean,
that's when you have problems.
The real reason is because, if you can say Captain America is a Nazi, that sells books. It won't sell the books after it, but it will sell those books.
Also, there's the fact that there's probably a fascist working for the company. But, because it's happening way too much for me not to make a comment.
If that was the case, surely they wouldn't be portrayed in such negative light all the time.
Sometimes.
Maybe it's like the
Remember
reverse.
Captain
Maybe
Marvel.
It's a villainous liberal.
It's possible.
Like, I mean, more than possible, some would argue. Some would argue all liberals are villains. But we're not here to get political.
But,
anyway, about Assad. What are your opinions on the Syria conflict?
Stop!
Oh, come on. The Russians are going to be too busy bombing us to care about assassinating you at this point.
I mean, they own our president, so...
I mean, it's not hard to own a chain chimp. Michael Jackson.
I mean, yeah. Though our chain chimp looks like, he's like always like getting, always has like the tanning goggles on. He looks like a Jersey Shore person.
Maybe he is. I think we need Trump to produce his birth certificate to prove he's not from the Jersey Shore.
I think we need a birth certificate to prove that he's not the annoying orange.
Would help.
Because I firmly believe that he is in fact the annoying orange.
You know what though? I think we did need a president like Trump. Because
Why?
it's been so long since we could all universally get behind one concept of, man, the president's a fucking idiot. It's like, when Bush was president, it was great. Everyone could hate Bush. There was no, like, you know, we all...
Yeah, that's because we had tyrannical idiots.
We all came
Like with
together. That's the point.
with Obama, it was just like, I like people would disagree if they didn't like a policy or something. You know, like a normal fucking leader. He was normal.
Now we're back to where we were. Just
Where we have a fucking cartoon clown in the fucking office who makes Bush look like a fucking saint.
only unlike Bush, he doesn't have an evil mastermind pulling the strings behind him. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call Putin a mastermind. Can't even organise an assassination.
He seems to fail those a lot. And then people are like, Putin, you're trying to assassinate a guy. No!
What? No.
We saw it. I would never!
Sorry, I was just thinking I need to see the Putin biopic where he's played by Mark Wahlberg. Doing the what? No voice when I questioned him on the assassinations. Yeah, on that Hollywood.
Ooh, I didn't know I could combo
Anyway,
that.
back to the original discussion, which is Marvel sucks.
But that was pretty much my whole thing with Marvel vs. Capcom. If this game didn't come out, Marvel vs. Capcom would have been fine in its mediocrity. It would have been fine. And you know what, though? I'm glad this happened. Because Capcom got away with it with Street Fighter V, because it's got enough of a pro following, but this has enough of a casual following and a pro following to where something punched it in the fucking dick. Because, Street Fighter V, I mean, we've explained before, Street Fighter V is the same problem, where they focus too much on the esports team thing and getting it out there, because the fucking pro scene, if the game doesn't look as pretty, we'll just fucking overlook it, because they're fine with mediocrity, as long as, you know, it has its functions.
I mean, hell, that's why they keep playing Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Melee, specifically. Melee is like mediocrity, the embodiment of mediocrity.
I think the problem is...
It was my first game in the series, but it's the least fun for me to go back to, unless you're counting N64. That's the least fun one.
I mean, only by virtue of me not owning an N64 and not having a cartridge is it the least fun for me to go back to.
I mean, I haven't gone back to it in years. I just played it at a friend's house after we played Melee, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't nearly as fun. And then when I played Brawl, I had more fun with that, and the Wii U one, I had more fun with that. They're just more fun.
I mean, the problem they'll always do taking...
And Wii U arguably is the best competitively, because everybody's viable.
Yeah, as long as everyone's viable as long as you're with all those matches of Bayonetta.
No, they nerfed her. She got nerfed. Dude, they nerfed her a long time ago. That's old fucking
Yeah,
hat.
I know, but it's...
She's not even that good anymore.
I thought she's still dominating the tournament or something.
Nah, not as much anymore.
Well,
And she's not like as like super stupid, even when she was that bad to where like you couldn't beat her like a fucking Fox Ditto or something. It's mainly because they didn't think of the consequence of like a character who just keep juggling you in the air
to be honest,
forever.
I don't think they thought about a lot of consequences because Nintendo don't make fighting games for a reason.
To be fair, they did have a number of Namco staff working on the game too. So they had like some of like Tekken staff and some of the staff to do like the anime fighters.
Depending
on
on who you ask, that might not have been a bad thing. Well, it might have been a bad thing, I should say. I can see why some people... I mean, Tekken 7's alright, but I can see why a fair number of people don't like it.
Usually people's complaints about it are X characters not in the game.
X character not in the game.
Because mechanically the game is really good, but honestly the only characters that are missing from the game that I like are like Michelle and Roger Jr. I think that's about it. But I don't really even play them, I just like them. Because like the other characters they're missing are like Christy, who gives a flying fuck about Christy.
Yeah, but that's all moot because I didn't put Mokujin in.
Yeah, but who cares about
I
Mokujin
care
other than
about
you?
Mokujin!
Other than you!
There's no one else's opinion matters! Miss Mokujin. That man
Mokujin was fine. If they brought it back, I'd be fine with it. Like, but it's like, whatever, who cares? It's fucking Mokujin. And he got replaced by Combot before, that's how much he matters.
Combot's just like, you know, no one cares about Combot.
Yeah, no one cares about Mokujin.
People care about Mokujin.
You care about
I
Mokujin.
care about Mokujin.
You're the only one who cares about Mokujin.
I was going to play Yakuza 6, just to shift gears. And like...
But I just kind of want to finish the Tekken thing. Like, that's pretty much the... whenever people complain about it, just because it's... Like, Michelle or fucking Christy not being in, but like Christy's fucking like you have Eddie Gordo and Christy's boring as fuck. She's just like a bland fucking Eddie Gordo in terms of personality. She's boring. Like describing her personality as a fucking chore because there isn't one.
Personality is that thing she keeps in her swimsuit.
I think the only other characters that were missing were Zafina, but she's like another one with a small fan base, but I do learn that they're very militant, because I made a joke about that, and I had like 3 Zafina fans like run at me on Twitter. It was kind of funny.
Julia's not in the game, not in Tekken 7 though, is she? Julia.
Who? Oh, Julia, that's what I meant, not Michelle. Fuck. But, same difference, though. But yeah, Julia is one that usually people are upset is missing, and, Christy. Even though Christy's awful.
Well, I want Kuma the first.
He's so different than the other Kuma. You gotta have him.
They could bring him back like Jinpachi. Just the final boss of Tekken 8, Kuma 1. But like demon possessed.
Oh god, we're going back. We're going back. We're saving Yamcha, but now with the villains.
No, not Yamcha.
What are Frieza and Cell doing here?
But yeah, I've been playing Yakuza 6 a lot, and I really like it.
What are you?
I mean, it's Yakuza, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's basically just, hey, did you like all the other games in this series? Yeah, you'll like this game. Okay. I like how.
I mean, Yakuza.
I like how. This isn't really a spoiler, but a large chunk of the game is set in Hiroshima, right? Before Kiryu goes, people are like, you know, Kiryu, there is this Yakuza family there, and I don't want you to go because you're just gonna like wind up in a fight with all of them and piss them off. And Kiryu's like,
What? I never do
Kiryu's
that.
like, what? No, I'm just going to go there and relax on the beach, and then like the first night he's there, he gets in a fight with a drunken Yakuza, which then leads down events of pissing off the rest of the Yakuza. It's like, for fuck's sake, Kiryu, just go back to your
Doesn't he
orphanage.
like go to? Doesn't he like go to jail and like his daughter goes missing or like she's unconscious or something?
I mean, not me to explain that. Basically, after the end of 5, Kiryu's like brutally beaten, so he's in hospital, and the cops arrest him for all those crimes he committed. And,
Which crimes?
well, beating people, like viciously beating people up. Attempted murder. You know what?
Yeah, but they're Yakuza.
Splice in some footage of some of the heat attacks from Yakuza, and then question what crime.
If I remember, I'll do that.
Kiryu just like snaps a dude's neck against the metal bar.
It's okay, they're fine. They get up
Yeah, they get
afterwards.
up. Like the actual the heat attack for disarming a gun involves you stealing the gun from their hand, shooting them twice in the stomach, and then pistol whipping them. The fucking one with the knife, you steal the knife, you stab them, and then you kick the knife even further into their stomach.
It's okay, they're fine. They get up.
It's like, fuck me, Kiryu. So yeah, Kiryu gets arrested for 3 years, but they make a point of, well, he could have probably got off if he had a good lawyer, but he wants to do it so that he can pay for his crimes. You know, I guess the first 10 years in jail were payment enough for all the things he's done.
Oh, the first 10 years that he didn't like commit a crime for, he was just covering for his friend.
It wasn't the crime he was sent down for. But
Yeah.
he did commit all those other vicious beatings, though.
To be fair, he was also just beating up Yakuza.
Yeah, but
It wasn't like he was beating up civilians.
so he gets released like 3 years later, and yeah, Haruka is missing for the start, but she shows up pretty soon after in hospital, having been in a car crash. And then the game is kind of Kiryu, and also she has a baby called Haruto, and the rest of the game is at the moment the game then comes to Kiryu trying to like trace back where she was to find Haruto's father, and work out what happened in those 3 years. But hey, we've upgraded from last year. It was Dad Simulator 2017 to Grandpa Simulator 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, people are all like, "Oh, look, Daddy Kratos, fuck you, Grandpa Kiryu."
I'm actually interested in it.
And unlike Kratos, Kiryu was always a good character.
I'm actually interested in the new God of War, but we'll see.
The matter, Frieza?
The other good thing about Yakuza is it's also basically Shenmue, but good.
I was waiting for that. I was like, how long until he makes that comparison?
I was waiting until you were done talking about Yakuza 6 to do it. I was waiting in the fucking wings for it. Because it is. Like, Shenmue is awful, and some people actually, like, tweeted at me when they announced that they were re-releasing 1 and 2 remastered, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you're happy," and I'm like, I am, because what's gonna happen with that game... So here's my prediction. 1 of 2 things will happen when that game comes out, the remastered, is people will be all nostalgic for it, and they'll still like it because of nostalgia. Because, I mean, there's no other reason. The story of Shenmue 1 and 2 sucks. Ryu is a terrible character. He is flat, bland, has no personality. His whole character is revenge. That's it. That's his only trait. That's all he has. And what's really funny is that, like, nothing really happens in each episode of the story, if you will, like the 2 video games. Like, I can describe Shenmue 1 really quickly. Shenmue's main character's dad gets killed, so he goes out for revenge, looks for information, finds a boat, fights some henchmen that are related to the incident, goes on boat, game ends. That's it. Like, you compare that to, like, Yakuza 1, which is basically an entire story, like, movie plot.
I mean, to be honest, Yakuza's plots is like 3 movies plots running simultaneously that very briefly intersect. It's just this kind of... That's kind of why I like the series so much. It's just so insane on every single level.
But, like, you get, like, a complete fucking story in that. This one doesn't even get the story... This game gets the story started. And it makes it even funnier when you realize this asshole wanted this to be, like, 15-game story, and he couldn't fucking, like, figure out... And so he's stretching this shit out when nothing's going on! There's, like, 2 parts where you control the game in a fight. Like, there's 2 parts in the game, and by the way, the fight controls are awful. And then the rest are, like, QTEs, waiting around, playing mini-games while you wait for shit for the time clock to click to where you can actually do a thing. It's really poorly done. And they're making it funnier with Shenmue 1, not Shenmue, with, like, Shenmue 1 versus Yakuza 1, even if I'm not going to do the Kiwami shit. Yakuza 1 has all of the mini-games of Shenmue, except the game itself is actually good. So there's no reason to play Shenmue!
Step up when I'm needed.
Like, Shenmue is just so bad. So, like I said, what's going to happen with the remasters, people are going to like it because nostalgia, they're going to be like, wait, this game might not be as good as I remember it. When everything's going to hit the fan, when it's all going to hit and come full circle, is when Shenmue 3 gets released.
Oh, yeah.
When Shenmue 3 comes out, everyone's going to be like, this game sucks! Because it's not going to live up to the hype that they made in their heads and their little in-head story for what the game was. Even though it was never that. And the game will probably be true to what it was, which was nothing but garbage.
Ooh. I never played, to be honest.
Because
I never played, so I can't really comment on the quality of Shenmue.
I will be fair, in Shenmue 2, they added a fucking wait system, and people treated that like an innovation. Like, bitch, Fallout 1 on PC had that! And that game came out, like, in the early fucking 90s.
Wait, Fallout games before 3?
Yes. There's, like, 3 or 4 of them, actually.
I don't believe you.
And what about them?
They exist. There's Fallout 1, 2, Brotherhood, and then there's another one that I can't
The only
remember
Fallout
the name
games
of.
I can think of are 3 in New Vegas.
Not even going to talk about 4?
What's a 4?
But,
I mean, you know what? You want to talk about Fallout 4? Boring, dredgy mess of a game that it was. That to me, as far as I can see, its only claim to fame is Bethesda released a game that mostly worked on release.
I'll go into that in, like, 1 second. So, okay. So I want to finish the Shenmue thing, because now I'm completely lost in that, because you started talking about Fallout 4, and now I'm thinking about that. Fucking hell. But, what's also funny is, like, people immediately did have, like, a reaction to what Shenmue 3 looks like, because it looks bad. It looks bad, but it's also looked as bad as I expected it to look. But I will be fair, they're being smarter than Mighty Number 9 by being even quieter than Mighty Number 9 and not showing any more
I was going to
footage.
say, it wasn't Shenmue 3 crowdfunded, which is dark,
It was crowdfunded.
which has thus far proven to be
it was
like a death sentence for video games.
Death sentence for nostalgic-driven ones made by fucking quacks. Though honestly, Shenmue, everyone should have known, because I've talked about this before with you. Shenmue 1 and 2 were colossal financial failures. Both games made negative returns. Like, the games went over budget and cost more to release and didn't scratch even making a return on, even breaking even on both attempts. People get mad at Sega for not allowing 3, but let's think about this from a business perspective for 2 seconds. Not even to the fact that I think Shenmue is a piece of shit game anyway. The best thing it did was inspire Yakuza. Let's say you're making a game for your company, or you're funding a team, and they bring you a game, and the game gives you lose money on it. You don't make money, you lose money. You don't even break even. Would you really want to fund a second game? Let alone this guy wanted to make 15 of these things.
I mean, I guess eventually, if he makes full 15, one of them will have to work. But no, from a business perspective, it makes absolutely no sense why you'd fund the third one.
Yeah, there's no reason to fund a third game, or even a second one. There was no reason to fund a second one, and they funded it. So in all honesty, the fact that Sega did that was like a charity. Because they had nothing, they had all to lose and nothing to gain by funding a failure twice. And guess what? It failed again! And it made even less money, and it cost even more.
You haven't forgotten what they did, have you?
Shenmue was a flop of a game, and it should have stayed in its grave. And I can't wait for people to hate this game. Now, this game, they won't, whoever, all the people that funded it and the people that made money, even the company that publishes it, won't lose any money on it because you fucking money whales funded the game. But it's gonna be hilarious when all those money whales are upset because they realize, holy shit, I funded a piece of shit!
I mean, regardless of anything else, the game was never going to be what people wanted, so...
True. But, that's not, but also the thing with crowdfunding is, it's certain ones that end up failing. A lot of them are the nostalgia-driven ones. Though I think Bloodstain's going to be the one that, people are going to like out of the nostalgia-driven ones because it's also doing its own thing. And, it's not clinging so hard to its roots. And it, honestly, from what people have, seen and played it, it's actually really good. It's the only one of the nostalgia-driven ones that's, going to do well, I think.
I mean, well...
I'm going on the record saying that, so this will be funny if I'm wrong.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know exactly what... It seems to me like there's just this relative problem where, I mean, leaving aside from the fact that it always feels like crowdfunding always seems to, vastly underestimate how much money they actually are going to need to spend to get the whole thing working, right?
It depends on the game. It's a lot of the ones you hear about are those, but there's also a lot of really good games that came out of crowdfunding. For example, just naming some off the top of my head right now. Some of them you probably won't know, but Freedom Planet came from crowdfunding. Undertale, whether you like that game or not. And I'm talking about ones that also just had positive reception. Shovel Knight. Let's see here. I'm going off the top of my head. I don't have a whole list that I'm staring at. 20XX, which is a Mega Man roguelike that came from crowdfunding. Shantae, Half Genie Hero came from crowdfunding.
Which versions? 16 different re-releases of that game now.
No, they're all the same. Shantae Half Genie Hero is just one game. There's a couple DLC packs that came out for it.
No,
but...
I think they're also about to re-release it on current gen stuff now, I think.
I think they might be re-releasing it now, but it's the same game. It might have all the DLC in it or not, I don't know. I got all the DLC because I backed the game. But yeah, no, it's just that a lot of them, it's just that there's a lot of ones that are major that were just colossal flops because they just weren't good games. Yooka-Laylee, fucking Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9's awful. I played that not too long ago. That game.
Yeah, you did. I wonder where you could watch the video of you playing such a thing. Oh, I know. It'd be on www.youtube.com/drunkentan.
It's really fucking bad. And it was so bad, I only did one video of it. I originally planned to do like 3 or 4 videos of it before I stopped.
In fact,
Ugh. It's like, no, I always said that, like, out of the Mega Man games, the 2 worst ones are, like, 2 and 9. 9 having the worst level design. Mighty Number 9 makes that level design look better.
oh, I don't know if I can agree with you about 2. I think 2's soundtrack kind of saves it for me.
The soundtrack's good, but the gameplay itself is fucking garbage. And the balance and mechanics is just bad.
Is 3 the one...
Objectively
is 3 the one
bad.
that introduces the slide? I always forget.
3 introduced slide, and 4 introduced power
Yeah,
shot.
I think... I don't know.
5 had the, the levels where you're, like, pretty much like an on-rail, like, boat thing for, like, a part of a level. And 6 was the one that introduced the armor.
I mean, no one remembers. No one cares about 6.
I do! 6 is really good!
No one
Fuck
cares
you!
about 7 either.
7's really good, too.
8 on the PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn, and it's been released.
Oh, it was on the Sega Saturn. Oh, makes so much difference.
Sad thing is, the Sega Saturn one's actually better, apparently. It has, like, more content in it and shit.
I mean, I guess...
But they never re-released that version. They've only ever re-released the PlayStation
I guess
version.
it should have more content, because it's like you have to own a fucking Saturn to play it. Like, I feel that's somewhat unreasonable criteria to play that game. It requires, like, actually someone owning a Saturn.
Yeah.
And now we get all the angry comments from Saturn owners. Actually, I think we'll find the Saturn. The Sega Saturn is one of the greatest consoles ever made.
It was a decent system. It just didn't have a lot of games that were released in the States. Well, as long as it's games, good games are released only in Japan. But, God. But yeah, that's pretty much the crowdfunding thing. What was the thing you started talking about, and I was like, I need to finish this fucking thing first?
I made a joke about Fallout 4.
We should probably stop the episode after we talk about this.
Or as I think everyone else should really call it, Fallout Snore. Haha, I'm so fucking witty.
So, Fallout 4 has, like, decent ideas, like the idea of being able to stop a conversation. The problem with Fallout 4 is it's incredibly limited in terms of role-playing. Like, there's not a lot you can do with your character.
I've heard it described as the equivalent of, like, if Telltale Games made a Fallout game.
There's a lot of decisions that don't matter and just don't really affect you as much. Now, one thing I do like is that certain actions you do will make certain characters like you more or dislike you more, which can make them leave you. Like, it's more interactive in that sense, but, like, in terms of role-playing your character, you can't do as much because they have very specific things that they can do. And the descriptions are very vague on what your character is going to say.
Yeah, it's like positive, negative, or middle of the road or something.
Yeah, pretty much. And maybe a fourth option for snarky.
Oh, there's no reason
About
to
it.
worry yourself. Besides, I had no
It's a lot more streamlined, which streamlined isn't always a bad thing, but like in a role-playing game when you don't allow the player to role-play as much, it's kind of a problem, especially when they're making their avatar.
Especially when the game is like on a fundamental level, the whole series is built on the idea of exploration and interaction with the environment in different ways.
So I want
Like,
you to exterminate.
It would be kind of like if, like in Persona 5, if Akira was given a full personality you had no control of, and they just interacted with whoever the character was scripted to interact with.
I mean, his personality is he's basically Amuro.
Exterminate him.
Huh?
He's basically Amuro because he, stopped Shah getting laid.
Why so glum?
Okay, I was like, what's the joke here? Okay. But, that's the problem with Fallout 4, is it allows you to create the appearance of the character, but you don't really get to factor much of his or her personality. I do like the idea of getting rid of the good and evil spectrum thing, and just allowing the player to make their own decisions on what they think is right or wrong. I actually think that's better, but, like, just the execution of everything else is just flawed. The combat is really good in the game. It has really good combat, the customization is really good, but just the roleplay aspects are just bad. And I got, like, close to the end of the game, and then I just kind of stopped playing. I probably should just beat it, just to beat it, because I'm that close to it, but, like, I have more fun, like, hell, I'm playing Fallout New Vegas right now on the channel again, and I have more fun with that game. Yeah, the combat's not as good in 4, but the roleplay aspects are so much better. You can do a lot more in that game.
Like I said, I've heard it described as if Telltale made a Fallout game. In terms of...
Oh no, it has more gameplay than
Well,
that.
yeah, but I meant it more in terms of your level of choices.
Yeah, your choices are less, They're more impactful than 3, to be fair, because 3, you don't have a choice. Your choice is, do you want to join the Brotherhood of Steel, or do you want to join the Brotherhood of Steel?
And I hate Telltale games so much.
I would talk more about it, but that's literally like half of the jokes with me and Medi in Sam and Max.
I mean, I was gonna ask. I don't watch stuff that's not got me in it. Do you comment on this at all in Sam and Max?
Oh, we do. We
Okay.
make fun of it constantly, like making jokes. Like, remember when Telltale made video games? But anyway, that's probably a good place to leave off because we are like really far in. But that's fine. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of fine with the series going on long just to get the thing done.
What will Dan and Train talk about next? Find out next time on Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Maybe I'll get further in Buu Saga and be able to actually talk about something of substance. Probably not.
Or maybe we'll get some other like hot political topic or like questionable thing we could discuss and make fun of, like Channel Awesome's death, like the death of Channel Awesome, or the being on the verge of World War III.
Oh god, I almost want to talk about that because I think Doug actually left the show.
Well, I don't know. I heard something like on he updated his Facebook status or something to say he was a former contributor.
Yeah.
And then I've had no other confirmation since. So
Either way, as far as I'm concerned, it's Channel Larry now. Have a good day.
yay.